Okay, had to make another video about Donald Trump. It's just too easy, too much like shooting fish in a barrel. Donald Trump has lawyered up already. So here's the guy that was going to drain the swamp because of all the, horrible people that have been in office up until this point. All the crooks and the criminals and all the people that have held political office, and he was going to come in and drain the swamp. Now has hired a lawyer and lawyered up. So congratulations, Donald. You are the swamp. You're part of the swamp, and you're exactly what you've been talking against for all this time. But what does anybody expect? Guy comes in with zero experience, absolutely zero, has no experience, doesn't even know anybody in the political arena, has never worked with any congressmen or senators, has never passed a bill, has never done anything, has never legislated, has never done anything, and he comes in and he tries to be president. I mean, I don't know who watches this video, who's watching this video today that's doing what they're doing without absolutely zero experience, especially at this high level. I mean, even if you're going to work the most minimal basic jobs, you're going to have some experience. Donald Trump has zero. And not only did he have zero experience coming in, then he surrounds himself with the nepotism of his family. Son-in-law, who now is being investigated. And I find it very interesting that his son-in-law, who was trying to make communications with the Soviets, with the Russians, now has lawyered up also and said that he made thousands of communications of which he doesn't recall making this communication with the Russians. So that's really funny to me, especially with the high-powered lawyers that the guys hired. That here you got a novice guy who looks very young. I don't know how old he is, pretty young-looking guy. Zero experience, who's made thousands of phone calls, but has not documented those phone calls or even can give you any knowledge of the phone calls. So just making random phone calls, Jared, just running around, just calling anybody and forgetting who you called. Very, very, very poor response to this allegation. What you'd like to have the guy say is, I've got a very well documented, the people I've talked to. I've notes on every phone call I've made. I know exactly who it is that I've spoken to, and I know exactly what the communication was about. But no, he's made thousands of phone calls and can't remember who he talked to. And he's representing the president of the United States. And he can't remember anything. He's made lots of phone calls and everything like that. Very, very, very poor way of addressing these allegations made against him about trying to make secret communications with the Soviets. So anyway, you got a president with zero experience who's surrounding himself with his family and his friends and his rich buddies, who's now lawyered up because of all these investigations against him. And furthermore, I watched him give a speech this afternoon. And it was so funny because he gave a speech about, I think it was about terrorism or something like that. And it sounded like a 10-year-old that was bored to death. I mean, he talked about Obama and the teleprompter. I mean, Donald Trump gets up and reads the speech, and I swear, I mean, I've never seen anybody so disinterested and disengaged in my life. He basically just gets up and mouths some words. Like he's bored and doesn't want to be there. So I think he's reached his attention span as far as the presidency is concerned. And of course he approaches just like he approaches everything. He comes in, bullies everybody, and instead of setting up some sort of a procedure in place like you would if you were a normal politician, if you knew what you were doing, no, he just goes and hires his son-in-law to do some secretive deal behind everybody's back. And God only knows whatever else they've done. And now that he's called out on it, just hire a bunch of lawyers. So anybody that supported this guy or wanted this guy to be president, you're seeing what you got. You got a guy that lawyered up in the first 100 days of his, almost a little over 100 days of his presidencies. And complained about the swamp. Well, Trump, now you are the swamp. You are the swamp. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully I won't have to make too many more videos about Trump. So anyway, thanks for watching.